Hello everyone, I wanted to go over a few things to get you started with class. This is especially important for those who are new to Blackboard. When you first log in to Blackboard and go to your class, you will see announcements. This is where I will post reminders, recordings, important information. Everything I post in the announcements you're responsible for, so I hope that you'll read those and watch those recordings. For instance, I have a welcome to class video that is just a short welcome. And then I will post this getting started video. Next, we see the syllabus. In the syllabus area, you will see the syllabus document, which has the different due dates, everything about the class, and then the class policies where you'll find my late policy, when things can be late, and the dates of those. So I would recommend that you download those two documents. Also, there's a link to the Herzing University catalogs and the Price of Success video. Next, we have the e-textbook link. You should have gotten an email. You see that there's a student book order process. First thing, you would get an email to direct you to validate your book. Once you've validated your book, you should be able to get the ebook. You're going to need it for the first assignment, so it's really important that you get that. Next, we have the classroom, which is the most important section of the class. In here, you will see first a link to the computer and application software room. This is my office hour link. And it's in top of the classroom. It's also at the beginning of each weekly folder. Next, you have the course learning objectives. Then you have a folder for each week. To access the unit folder, you hover over the title until you get a hand, and then you click. That will open up the week, and as I said, there's a link to office hours, and then you have your sequence of activities. And in the sequence of activities, you have the due dates of the different assignments as well as their point value. In the week 1, you have a download for the instructions for obtaining Office 2013 from the university for free. It's really important that you have Office 2013 or later to do the assignments in this class. If you have Office 2016 or Office 365, you do not have to go back to 2013. If you have Office for Mac, it'll be a little bit different, so there may be some things that you won't be able to do, and we'll go over that later. Then you have your unit objectives, your key terms and concepts, your required reading, and the presentations for the class. Finally, you see a little blurb about the discussion, but I'll talk about that later when we get to that section. You have your assignment. To do the assignment, you need to read the instructions carefully so you make sure you have all the requirements. Some of them have attached files, and that's important for the assignment. So for instance, if we click on that, it will open a document. Oh, I already opened it. Called Scavenger Hunt. And it's just a list, a bunch of questions that you will answer. To answer those questions, you're going to go up to the required reading and check in those sections of the book to answer the questions. To actually submit the assignment, you're going to click on the Scavenger Hunt title, and that will bring you to the assignment upload section. It gives you the requirements again, but then you have the opportunity to browse and find your assignment. So let's say, I think I have something in week 1. Find the assignment, and then when you click on it, it'll show it here with the file name. Then you're going to submit. If you save it as a draft, I won't be able to grade it. So you're going to click submit. Of course, that error has nothing to do with what will happen. Let me go to student preview. And of course, in student preview, you don't see announcements because the class hasn't started yet. But if we go to my grades, you'll see that I have done some discussions. I've also submitted some assignments, but they haven't been graded yet. And that's why you have the little yellow exclamation point, because they need to be graded. Also in my grades, it shows you kind of the sequence of things that are due. For instance, the first thing that's due is the Unit 1 discussion and then the scavenger hunt. Now, once I've graded it, then you'll see over here, you'll see the grade. But you have to click on the little bubble to see my comments. And most of the time, I will be returning to you a document. So if you click on that document and open it, you'll see, now this is just an example of a checklist. I would check off the things that you've done correctly. I'd tell you how much you've missed and what your total score is. And I don't know why you can't see the rubric. Oh, and then to actually see the rubric, to see the things that I marked off, remember I showed you how the rubric looked. When you open the rubric, which is on this other side over here, it shows you each one that I marked. And that's how I came up with the total score. So the checklist is just a way that I use as I'm going through whatever is you turned in to make sure you have them all. Then I go to the rubric and I mark off, say it's data entered correctly. So after I've checked your data and I saw that it was correct and I checked it on the checklist, then when I come to the rubric, I'll know that you completed it and I will give you that grade. So that's how I do the grading. And then that's how you'll see the grading. Now if we go back to Classroom and excuse me, let's see, which one did I already grade? I think it was week 4. So if we go to Classroom and we go to week 4, say you've corrected the spreadsheet and you want to turn in a new one. You go back to the assignment, but now it looks different because you already submitted one. To excuse me, submit another, you're going to click Start New. And then when you click Start New, it takes you back just like before. You browse your computer, you submit the assignment again, and then submit. And it will call it attempt 2. Now, don't just keep submitting assignments. Only submit another assignment if you make a correction. If you have a preview over here and it looks strange and it doesn't come out right, or it says it can't convert it, don't worry about that. As long as it's bringing you to this page, then it's fine. If there's something wrong with your document, I'll let you know and you can submit it again. But, you know, sometimes I have people submitting 1, 2, or 3 of them because they don't see the preview. and it says file converted, and it might never get to the point where you see the preview. That's fine. That doesn't matter because I will download the document to check it. I won't go by the preview. So that's the classroom. Now to do the discussions, you're going to click on discussion. It gives you the topic of the discussion. So it has a little blue title and then the topic, and you see for each one. Right at the top one is the guidelines. So these are the things that you must have in your initial discussion topic. 250 words. They must be, you have to have 3 responses. You have to have at least 1 APA reference in your initial post. And no discussions take place after the week is over. Also, one thing that is not mentioned here but is in the rubric is your discussion should cover 3 days. So in other words, if you post a discussion on Wednesday and you reply on Thursday and you reply on Friday, then you have met the requirements, 3 days. To actually submit a discussion, you click on the title and you have to click on Create Feed. Now you need to give it a title, so say we do it Unit 1. And then the best way to do it is to type it in Word, as I've done here. That way you can see any misspellings. You can copy it and you can paste it. But depending on your browser, you may have to use the shortcut, which is Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste. You can just type in here, and then you'll see that it also checks. And when it gives you that little underline in red, you know that that you've misspelled something. Now, for instance, this is a screen name, and it's saying it's wrong. Well, I know that it's not wrong. So the reason I like to do it in Word is, for instance, in this one, it says YouTube is incorrect, but I know that it is. So now I will be checking your spelling, and I will check it in Word. So it's a good idea that you check your spelling also. Also, it gives you the number of words in your little post. And remember that I'm counting the words without the reference. So if we took the reference away, there's only 32 words. So make sure that you're counting the words before you put the reference. Now, an APA reference is, for instance, if you go to a site and you find information and you use that information, then at the end of the information you put the author and the year, or the title and the year, depending on if there's an author. Then at the bottom you have references and you list the full reference. And I expect you to do APA. Now, I can't see the library from here. I'll have to get out of this in a minute. So that's references. I will go over that more in the week 1 recording. So to save this, you're going to submit. If you save it as a draft, you can come back and edit it, but I won't ever be able to grade it. So once you submit it, then it'll show up like this. To edit you go into your post and you click edit, and what it does is it just brings it up here and you can make changes, then resubmit it, and it just changes it. Now to reply to somebody else, if you click reply, then it's going to have regarding that and using your title. You can type in a reply, which also need to not have spelling errors and should have, I believe, 100 words for the reply. And then you just click submit. And so let's type in something here and click and submit. And then it shows you the reply below the original post. Now, if we go back to the discussion, you'll see that there's my initial post, and it tells me that there are two, so that there's been a reply to my post. So if I wanted to see the reply, I would just go in there, and then I could read what the person wrote. And that's how you do discussions. Next, we have messages. And in the messages box, you can create a message and you can send it to everyone in the class. Of course, the only ones listed now are myself as the instructor and my manager, and of course our little preview user because I'm in student mode. But so for instance, you wanted to send me a message, you would move me over, you'd give it a title, you'd type in what the problem was, and then you would submit. Now the problem, all right, let me send one to the preview user so you can see what it looks like. So now I've sent one to the preview user, so I see that I have an unread. There's no notification. So the only way I know if I have messages is to come into this area. And then I check on the inbox and I see, okay, I have a message here called hello. And if I click on hello, it gives me the message. That's how the messaging works. Like I said, there's no reminder. Every few hours during the day, I will check messages, but it is not as immediate as email because I always have my email open. And of course, it's not as quick as text because even when I'm not on the computer, I get text messages or phone calls. So it depends on how vital it is. Next, we have the faculty info. And again, there's going to be, let's see. Well, I can't show you that now, but there's also a link to the office hours in, so I think that's all I need to show you in the preview. So I'm going to exit the preview. And then I'll go to faculty info. Oops, clicked the wrong one. And that, because I wanted to show you about office hours. So if I click on the link, it brings up Blackboard Collaborate. And this is basically where I have office hours, and once a week I'll do a presentation. And the times of my office hours are posted in the faculty info. So now I'm in here to set up your video or audio. You're going to set up camera and microphone. Because I'm using my mic with another program, I don't want to set up that. You can determine what things you can do. I've already set that. You can also see how many people are there. It's only me, but if you were there, it would list your name. You can chat or we can talk. And if you have your video on, then you can share your audio. And once you have a green, then you know you can talk. You can also share your video, but that's not necessary. You can raise your hand. That would be if there was more, more than one, and I get a little message when somebody raises their hand, or if someone types in the chat. Now, if you don't want to use audio, you can just type in your question. And when I do the presentation, I'll have a PowerPoint. We could also share files. So to share a file, if you wanted to share a file, a document, say, you could upload it here. And then when you click share, I would be able to see the document that you're wanting to share. I'm sorry about the interruption. Okay, I don't know if it's going or not. Does it? Yeah, okay, I think so. All right, so if you wanted to add a file, you would browse, find your file, and upload it. I think you can upload pictures, PowerPoint, Word documents. Some things it won't let you upload. I'm not sure if you can upload a picture or not. So, and there's also a whiteboard. Let's see if I can find the whiteboard. Not sure where the whiteboard is. Oh, there is the whiteboard. So for instance, if you wanted to write out something, you could write or whatever. That would be the way to do that. You can share an application that so you would choose whether you're just sharing an application or you could share your entire screen. That way I could see what was going on, say if you were having difficulty. So that's one way we could do that. To get out of here, you just exit, and we're back where we were. So we did that. We did my grades already. The Library and Technology resource sends you to resources that are good for technology. And then finally, the academic coach. And depending on who is the coach, you'll see a bio. You also see the hours that they're available. You would click request an appointment. You can send him a question, or you can click the link for resources, and it takes you to the resource room. And let's see, let's go back. Where is the link for? Oh, submit an appointment link. Use the request appointment link on the menu. Oh, it's over here. Request an appointment. Okay, I'm surprised it went to there. So I'm not sure how that, I'm not actually a student, so I'm not sure how that actually works. So we could go to student preview and see if it acts different. takes me back to the messages. So there's a virtual office. There's ask a question. And I believe the virtual office is basically the same as the office hours. It's Blackboard Collaborate. So because I'm not actually a student is maybe why it's not showing me exactly how to get in there. That's why. And that's all the links that you have. If there's anything that you don't understand, please contact me and let me know, and I'll help you out. And that's all I have for this time.